Bonjour. So this is the first decent, like, normal week of 2023. Let's get right into it, into this week's little babies. Last issue, the last instalment of 10,000 Black Feathers, which I found really good. I mean, they're obviously going to collect it into a. If you haven't been picking it up, and you do see the graphic novel, it's only 5 issues, so it will be a slim one. And you could accuse it of being a one note story, you know, with the twist at the end, and once you know. But I've just really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed that, and we are going to have a look at the artwork in the final issue. And Andrea Sorrentino, you know what I'm like with these names, because I've just been really impressed, and I know they've worked with Jeff Lemire before, and you can kind of tell that team, that collaboration is really nice. Now, before anyone has a moan, I know I did this. I got issue 3 late, okay, so I did do it, and I know I've put it on. I think I put it on my best of the year. Anyway, that has got. I just want to show off some stuff that's in this. I've really been enjoying this. There's something really creepy, and the mood that they set in it, the tone of the colouring. I think a fantastic job they've made of that. And then we go really right. Proper mainstream now, like no nothing controversial now. Lazarus Planet, obviously with Mark Waid's name on it. I'm going to have to pick it up, and with everyone involved, I do think that's a really nice cover, and an intriguing premise, and they're all one shots, which I kind of like the idea of that. Like my old mate Paul at Comics and Fantasy in Hornchurch said. You know, just dip in and out with this one. If you don't like the look of it, where they're one shots, you know, I haven't got to buy 184 issues of everything that's going, because it's crossed over. You know, like they do with it. You know, I think by now you know what I think of crossovers. This was really good debut. Like nothing unexpected there really. I didn't ever pick up the mini series he did back in the day of for this. I know it weren't with George Jimenez, but old Mark Miller. I never picked it up. That's because I'm not the biggest fan of this kind of shtick, to be fair. This real world, you know, like The Boys and stuff. I've got to say, I'm not the biggest fan of grounding everything and making it real. I think the nearest I ever want to go really is Watchmen. But I did enjoy that for the romp it is, and with George Jimenez artwork, you can get around a lot of stuff. It's a bit like when John Romita Jr. is on Spider-Man. I can get over his storytelling ability. Add something to that comic book that I'm not saying is lacking. I'm just saying it's always adding. And I'm going to get onto that in a minute, because there's a couple of Dark Web issues here. Now this, I mean, every time this comes out, I know I've done issue 1, I did skip issue 2, this is issue 3, and I'm going to go for it because I'm just so impressed with this book. Mark Silvestri on this, come on, you've just got to praise it. I mean, it's just the comic of the week every time it comes out, but I don't want to get too boring with it, so I have skipped an issue, and it is my channel, so I'll do what I want, can't I? And then the comic of the week for me, and just bear in mind, before I show you, I am a geekyOlhog, right? And I simply just loved this. Yeah. And it's a proper throwback. Unashamedly. Like, there's literally, like I'm saying, unashamedly a throwback. They don't care that it isn't. They don't care that it is what it is. And it's exactly what it says on the tin, guys, and I loved it for that. And it's kind of a big, thick, kind of double-sized issue. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy showing you the deep dive of that. If you haven't picked that up yet, you're going to see what I mean. And basically, it's Hulk smash throughout the whole issue. Anyway, and then a couple of other honourable mentions. As always, Daredevil this run continues to be standout. It really does, and more crossover. You can obviously see Punisher in the background of the cover. Won't do a deep dive on this one because I've done it before, and you know there's not really a lot to show off in that as far as deep dives go. Little Monster, another Jeff Lemire book. He's having fun with this one. He really is having fun. I did do a deep dive in that, but where there's a lot of black and white. Well, it is all black and white with, you know, a little bit of grey tone and colour in that. Nevertheless, thoroughly recommend that. And then we get to these two. Now, I did like the setup in issue 1. I think I did do this. I think I did a deep dive on this, the first issue. And I've kind of been enjoying the Spider-Man books, but do you know what? These issues, this dark web, I don't know if it's the dark web storyline, because Zeb Wells is a good writer and McGuinness is a good artist, and I'm not appreciating the tone of it. It's very PG. It's very. The stakes aren't high at all in it. There's something about this storyline now. Listen, I'm going to keep buying Amazing Spider-Man, so all I'm saying is, if I can't point out, and I know I like keeping this positive and talking about all the good stuff, which I am, and everything. And I'm not saying this is bad, by the way. If you love your crossovers, this all ties in. It all fits in nice. The story-wise, you know, Ed McGuinness's artwork in artwork and storyline in this. I mean, I've enjoyed this because I love the characters. But everything's, I'm just going to say before we go in a deep dive of my there's something a little bit silly about it with the Spider books. I mean, and the main Spider-Man book, there's something a little bit silly with it all. And I don't know what Marvel, they're just dropping the ball a little bit. I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but you know, you get a cover like this to Amazing Spider-Man and you want something going on. And, you know, New York being ravaged by this hell on earth, which sounded good, it's all kind of descending into a little bit of silliness, really. And I don't want to kind of illustrate it by doing a deep dive in these, because I want to do a deep dive of 6 really good ones. And that's what we're going to do after the scroll. Here we go then. 10,000 Black Feathers, issue 5 is really nice. Another striking cover, but one you have to kind of concentrate on, you know, if that makes sense. Just some nice design work, just right there. Nice design work in the wider world. That works as a lovely piece of design, and I've really enjoyed the style of this book from the beginning, and it really did ramp up. It really did ramp up. You know, I won't go into too much about the motif of it, and you know, obviously the title of the show and the quest she has to go on based on her childhood memories with her friend she's going to have to rescue from this realm. This splash page right here, this fight scene, and these small panels, I've got to say, I loved. I just loved the you know, from the you know, she's got a horse with her at this point, and you know, the horse's eye, and then this kind of octopusy kind of not the James Bond villain, but the octopus type monster, gnashing of teeth and raven. You know, love it. Really evocative of the kind of netherworld that she's in, and the fight, you know, that she's had to go through. This was a really good finish to this story. Obviously changes the style, like I pointed out before, and then back into the kind of real world stuff, but flipped, because she's not in the real world. You know, that was the real world stuff. You know, when she first met. So I just love all those little techniques of it all. Just like this, you know. And it was a fitting. It really was a fitting finale. Look at that. You know, look at that. If you're going to do splash pages, you know, come on, and you're drawing a horror comic. This is what we want to see. I think this is spectacular. in its simplicity. Now that's midpoint. You know, this is era Staples, so I'm not going to go on any further like the old Raven there as well. Look at the colouring to match what's going on. Again, I know I'm always pointing out the colouring, but I'm not going to do any more of a flick through on this, because if you do get it, I just don't want to spoil it for anyone. But it's just a really good read. Image Comics, as usual, doing a bang up job. And this is another Image book, and like I say, I know I'll do a quick flick through of this, because I just wanted to show everyone again how creepy this is. The story set in this devil world, whatever it's called, theme park, and how creepy it is when you've got people dressed up in costumes. And I know that plush storyline is going, but look at this colouring. I think this colouring is absolutely gorgeous. Adriano Lucas. Well, I'll tell you what, mate, you're doing a bang up job with this, I tell you. Because I think this is a really, you know, when you read the story through, I know I'm only kind of flicking through, and again, bang, you know, this evocative, you know, you could call it standard stuff, but you know, the little dots in the eyes, and you know, it really does take you down. And you know, this imagery, when it's combined with the fact that they're in Devilland, and you know, Dad, you know, just one little scene, boom, gone. And it's all creepy goings on. You know, what's this? I don't know whether this is part of the ride. I don't know whether it's a character behind them. It really is a moody, kind of tense piece. Yeah, and it's all gone. That's been part of the ride for a few weeks in this storyline. Love this motif as well. Love this motif. And again, you've got this character who is doing the expose on Devilland. These are the two main characters, the brother and sister. Again, I've reached midpoint, and I will kind of leave it there. Look at the colouring now. He's gone to the hospital where his daughter's still lying there. This is just a lovely job. Just a real nice job. You know, back to, you might think all standard for a colourist, but I don't think it is quite. I think some of these colourists are really are coming into their own at the moment, a lot of these colourists, and this is one of them. Look how creepy this stuff is. And they're not saying anything. They're not saying anything. You know it's all going to go horribly wrong, don't you? But anyway, I'm going to leave it there, because again, I'm going to spoil another beautiful cover, I think. Bang up job. Another Image comic, issue 4. I don't know how many issues it's going to be, or whether this is just going to be a self-contained or whatever, but again, it'll be done in a graphic novel. Now this Lazarus Planet, I did find it intriguing. They are mostly one-shots, but you know, Mark Waid's name on something is going to make me pick it up and have a look for a start. And then when it's combined with this artwork, which I think was really, really nice, then I'm going to get it. And again, this was darker than I thought it was going to be. And I don't just mean in the colouring and in the artwork. This was a lot darker of a storyline than I thought it was going to be. You know, Batman's out of the game, and these, you know, the rest of our heroes, here they are all going against the, you know, the evil ones, whatever they are. You know, like I said, I don't get a lot of the wider DC books. Maybe the colouring on this is a little bit too grim, but they are in a place, you know, the world is being covered by the, you know, the magic of the Lazarus volcano, etc., etc. So it's in keeping, and you know, look at the, again, colouring. Look at this, guys, and you know, colouring wise, it's nice. You know, these raindrops, this rain like flicking off the, you know, off of Power Girl's costume. Lovely artwork. Just thoroughly enjoyed this. This is just Mark Waid, let him rip, telling some superhero stories. you can't go wrong. For me, you cannot go wrong with this. And again, the colourist, again, we're in a different location now, mood, so we've got the purples in. You know, quick little flashback to whatever's going on. No, we're in the purple again. And I know I'm probably explaining it too much what a colourist should do, but you know, when it's not done, it detracts from it. But these colourists are really good. Art, and like I say, artwork, bang up job. You want a nice splash page every now and again with these. When you're dealing with these big characters, you know, you want this. You know, cracker, tacker, toom. You want this. You need it. Look at that. It's not, you know, this character's working with the team, because Batman's out of action in this one. Another cracker coom. You know, proper moody. I love this. I love this. This is like the end of what's going on, and you know, we've got some good. Well, I've brought some friends in, you know, before, you know, to give us a fighting chance. Nice. And there's a little backup story which I will confess that I haven't read, and you know, you could have seen this in the back of the comic if you flicked it through it in the, you know. So I know I've been a bit coy with the other two, not showing you the endings, but yeah, look at what they've done about man. Or what the Lazarus volcano has done. There's a little backup here. I'm going to be honest with this Monkey King business. I haven't read it. I will read it, but I haven't. There's a little backup in there. I just want to let people know, but you know, I can't, in all honesty, tell you anything about that. And I've never read any Monkey King at all. I'm not the biggest DC fan. I'm just being honest. But I thought that was a lovely cover. Even though Batman's out of action in this issue, so you know. But anyway, no, I thought it was a nice cover. Nemesis Reloaded. Like I said in the introduction, I do like me a bit of Mark Millar, and I do love this boy's artwork. So there was not going to be much chance of me not enjoying this issue, and it starts off as usual, you know, with the kind of real world of Mark Millar, and you know, dragging us in and then giving us some shocks. And it does deliver. It does deliver. And this was a good debut issue. Is it, you know, is it the best comic ever written? No. And it's obviously wonderful artwork that I'm going for really in this issue. You know, getting George Jimenez doing some of this, look. And it is, you know, it's that going at superheroes from the deconstructionist kind of real world angle, which I will just say I'm just not the biggest fan of. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, it's doing exactly what it says on the tin. You know, you've got this hyper violence, this super violence, you know, look, in it, you know, look, limbs flying, heads flying, whatever. But I'm just saying out loud my thoughts. I'm just not so sure. I will get all the rest of the issues of this story up because I want to see where it's going, and I'm intrigued about this character because I didn't get the last 4-issue miniseries. You know, this is good stuff. Nothing we haven't seen before with a Punisher or anything like that. But he's doing it in his Mark Millar way. He's doing it. So this was a solid first issue. I don't know about an entirely black page, to be fair, but John Byrne did entirely white pages, didn't he, back in the day? So yeah, I'll probably I'll leave it there because there's another little everyone's got, where it's a first issue, don't want to spoil the fun, but yeah, I did enjoy it. Any other week, maybe if you know, Batman and the Joker maybe if this hadn't come out and this hadn't come out, that would have been a comic of the week. So, you know, please don't think that I'm kind of down on this and what Mark Millar's doing. I love a lot of Mark Millar comics, but I'm just saying I'm not sure about the whole, you know, deconstructionist shtick. Yeah, come on, we've just got to have a look at Mark Silvestri's artwork, haven't we? Come on. And he's told a solid story here. He really has. I think so anyway. He's told a proper solid story, and his art style in this is absolutely beautiful. it's not like he's been an up and coming artist for 20 years, is it? But his art style that he's used in this, I don't know whether he's going to carry on using it in other books that he does. But I know I've highlighted it before, but I just really love this. This is a decent Batman book. It just really is. If you don't get any other Batman book and you just get the 4 issues or whatever they're doing of this, 4, 5, 6 issues of this, of course you're going to get it. And what a beautiful graphic novel it's going to make. Colouring again, superb, lettering, just everything. There is not anything that's a nice cardstock cover. You know, it's the creme de la creme of comic books when you get people like this working on characters you love. You know, like your main legacy characters, and you know, look down in the Gotham subway with the SWAT teams and that. Nothing. Look at these scenes. I think I might have said it before about the cinematic. Look at this, about the cinematic style of it, and still the mystery is there. This is the 3rd issue, and you've still got the whodunit. You've still got the detective element of what Bruce Wayne's got to do, and they're just slowly unravelling it. I think it's a bit too obvious that it's this bloke. I think he knows something, but it's a bit too obvious. Look, a little tete-a-tete with a Joker. What more do you want in a Batbook? Yeah, and punching him out, punching his lights out. What more do you want in a Batbook? Look how moody Gotham City is. Oh, really did enjoy that. And you've got to have a full moon over Gotham City, haven't you? Especially when you've got the Batwing out. So just loved it. Just loved it. Wayne Enterprises, Choo Choo Train, whatever. Like I say, and they've done a really nice job. I don't know whether that comes out or not. You know, whether the matte, there's a matte cardstock cover with the gloss. I don't know. It's not the first time it's ever been used, but I just like the fact that they're taking the time and energy and you know, to do it. I enjoy it. If they're having a good time creating this stuff, then I think, you know, it helps when we're all trying to enjoy it. Now this romp, the Avengers War Across Time. Alan Davis, right, doing the artwork is the only reason I bought this. I haven't got any of the modern Avengers books. I'm sorry everyone, but I just haven't. I just like the retro look and feel of it, and that is exactly what it is. Now, I'm not so sure. I don't know if Alan Davis has rushed some of this or not, but pages like this just look like pure Alan Davis. And look, this is the only Avengers we got. And this is the bit I loved. If you missed Avengers issue 11, go find a copy now. What they're talking about is the original run of the Avengers from the 60s, issue 11. They're not talking about anything other than that. You know, inspired by the classics, you know, by Stan Lee, Jack Kirby and Don Heck, and it certainly is. Because guys, this issue, I know it's a War Across Time and they've arrived, but they've even, I don't know if they've done this on purpose, you know, but this second page is even out of focus a bit. Like, you remember pages back in the day when they used to do the newsprint and the colouring and the 4-dot colour, the 4-dot colouring on top, and every now and again you'd get a page go out of and you'd get the blue lines. Look, I don't think you get that anymore with the modern printing. I've got a feeling they've done this on purpose, you know, to just to give the impression that it is one of your ye oldie weldy comics. I've just got a feeling, because everything else is spot on, and most of it is pure Alan Davis. But I'll just say one tiny little thing. I thought some of it looked a little bit rushed. I'm not saying it was crap. Look, this is just, you know, this is Betty Brant picking up all the other newspapers for J. Jonah Jameson as these lot have turned up, as the Avengers have turned up in New York. Here's Kang, you know, getting up to his old tricks, and there's old Wasp fancying Thor, you know, like she used to, you know, making all this. flirting with him, and he's getting a bit jealous. Look, they're going to have a little tete-a-tete in the shower. But the old Avengers bat phone goes, calling the Avengers, the Fantastic Four. The Hulk's on parade, look, in New York, look, smashing everything up. But all is not what it seems, look. And then it's just fighting. Like you would have got back in the day. But I'm probably doing it a disservice. While the fight is going on, the story is unravelling as to who this could be and why, and who put it there. And he is decimating the Avengers. You know, Thor turns back to Donald Blake. Look, Thor basically bashes him back to being Donald Blake, so he's out of the picture. Rick Jones turns up. Oh, come on. Look, way back in Avengers issue 8. The Hulk recognised him for Avengers issue 8. And obviously this is a time travel saga. So, you know, I'm just looking forward to next issue and the issue after, where they, you know, hopefully just tie it all in. Yeah, I just really enjoyed this, and you know, Iron Man in his old costume. And come on, I know this is nostalgia bait. Don't get me wrong, but this is the stuff I grew up with, knowing and loving, and there is something really refreshing about this. Some of these are some of the pages I want about maybe being a bit rushed, as in backgrounds. I mean, he's penciling and inking, and look, I don't know, there just seems something really rushed about this. This isn't your typical Alan Davis, like, superb art. So I don't know what went on there. Maybe but then we're back to normal again. You know, we've got the nice stuff back. So, you know, just every now and again, didn't spoil the book, but I've just, you know, this was, yeah, don't know what went on there. You know, even the colouring is a bit old school in it. You know, me banging on about colouring, they haven't really given it too leery a colour palette, and it was very evocative of this era, to be fair. And I really enjoyed it. It was refreshed. Like I say, it's refreshing. I like seeing Captain America be who he is. I like seeing the Thor who he is, and the Hulk. I just like seeing them all, and Wasp and Giant Man. I just like Ant-Man, whatever you want to call him. I just like seeing a lot of them romp around like this. I know you couldn't do it month after month in the modern era, don't get me wrong, and Iron Man as well. I know the characters, but this was a nice break from all of the complicated, I was going to say crap, then it's not crap, but all of the complicated, highfalutin, mystical, especially with Kang involved. My God, you know, can they fry our brains anymore with multi-universe crossovers in, you know, the Avengers and stuff? Really did enjoy that. That's my book of the week. Wouldn't say is it cover of the week? Well, it does exactly what it says on the tin. You know, look at these. These are all fantastic covers, to be fair. This one, I mean, if you're going to get anyone's attention, that is going to a blood-splattered, white-clad, double sword-wielding, ninja-looking character is always going to get someone's attention in the comic book shop, isn't it? And again, I think that kind of sets up enough of a Justice League weird vibe to attract your attention. And then you've got your two horror books from Image. That's the last issue, issue 5, which I thoroughly enjoyed and still enjoying. Don't want this one to end. In a way, yeah, I do. That's wrong to say that, because I don't want it to trundle on and lose its effect. But look, you know, the artwork in this stuff, really enjoying it, and the storyline, sensational. Love it. Jeff Lemire, always. So that is the 6 of the week, and like I say, I've kind of done a little bit about the other lot, but that was my favourite 6. So until next week, I will bid you adios.